Just three ordinary people from the hills of eastern Kentucky. We don't have all the answers, but we do have all the questions. This is the Just Add Bourbon podcast with Jimmy Don, JD, and Don. Welcome, everybody, to the Just Add Bourbon podcast. I'm Jimmy Don Kerr.
I'm Dawn Giesica.
And we have no idea where JD is. He is 100% MIA. I just texted him, said, "Are you alive?" He has not texted me back, Don. But it is another beautiful Sunday evening here in the hills of eastern Kentucky. And before I get going here, I want to know what this means. Who picked this music?
Yes.
Jimmy Don, I bet.
Yes,
it was 100%
girl.
Jimmy Don.
Yes,
I'm cool
girl.
like that. I was trying to figure out what she's, what she's trying to say here. Is that, I'm cool and that music's cool, or this is stupid and Jimmy Don's stupid? I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
I think it's good.
I like it. All right. Thanks, Amanda.
I think it's good.
There you go. So, no, Don, what's going on?
Gosh, we have mulched all day today, Jimmy Don, and I reckon I got in poison ivy. I don't know yet, but
you were raised in the hills. You know what poison ivy is.
I did get into it, and it was that hidden poison ivy that's in your landscaping, that's in the in the hedges. So I was working around the hedges, and then I saw it, and I thought, crap. I usually don't have a problem with it. I hope that I don't have a big reaction. Todd, if he gets around it, he gets blisters everywhere.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So we'll see how I do.
Todd.
I'm hoping my hillbilly blood comes through.
So let's play a game real quick, Don.
Oh, God.
Where do we think JD is right now? So I see on here somewhere it said one's missing, and then Todd says, JD gets married and
off he goes.
So
I
let's
feel like
guess.
I'm going to guess. I'm going to go with hungover.
All right, hungover's a good choice. Like if we were playing Family Feud, I think you definitely that flips.
I think
the survey says.
Yeah, because last night was Saturday night. Didn't he? I saw on his Facebook he went to a concert. So I bet that he's drank a little bit, and then he look at Jason. That's exactly what he's doing. He's watching Tucker Carlson.
Yeah,
I bet he drank a little bit, and he's probably napping, and he'll wake up. That's right, he'll wake up and pop in on us, I bet.
No, and that's what, the only times he's ever missed, and he hasn't said anything, he's usually asleep. And I would guess, like, if we were playing Family Feud, I would definitely say the hungover's there. I'm going to say Jason Rundle gets an X because he's definitely not watching Tucker Carlson. It could be Don Lemon. But not Tucker Carlson.
Yeah,
he could be working on a water line leak. I think that would be a ding. I think that would be an answer that could be. I have no idea where he's at, but we miss him. JD, if you happen to watch this, join us.
Yeah, come on in, buddy. Come on in. Tell us where you're at.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, Don, it's been an insane week. Like, this is one of the most insane weeks, I guess, really for a lot of people. In that it's graduation week, right?
Right.
I see Sam on here. I think it was her nephew that graduated.
Yep, Ronnie. She loves those kids. Yeah.
Yep. And
I think that's her last baby boy going through. I think that's it. Yeah.
So, but it's been a great week, and for anybody that's from Martin County that's actually watching this, if you need to go watch Colin Horn's graduation speech, he was the valedictorian. You need to go watch it. It's one of the best speeches I've heard. And I'm not even joking. Like, most of the time I'm sitting at those places. I'm not paying attention. I'm looking at my phone, whatever.
Yeah.
I hung on every word
that
kid said. It was a phenomenal speech. But my baby graduated from 8th grade.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Went to a graduation party. Then I had my cousin Bruce that lives in Ohio. His son graduated from high school, so I had to go to a graduation party for that. And so it's been kind of a crazy week. Did you do anything fun?
Oh, gosh, no, nothing. Well, we did Max's. I haven't seen you in a while. So Max is enlisting into active duty.
I actually saw that.
Did you? Yeah. So we did host a signing. Well, it was going to be a signing ceremony, but, I'm a political girl and we had a lot of politicians show up. So we kind of we just signed off site and then did a presentation ceremony for him in Knoxville, because you don't really want to bring in active duty people when there's like tons of active politicians. Does that make sense?
No, of course, yeah.
So we did that. Reagan wrapped up her first nursing clinical semester, so she got that under her belt, and then she's off doing her modeling thing. Brooklyn's still in school, Jimmy Dawn.
Really?
It's driving me crazy. So her last day is not until Friday. I mean, right up and on Memorial Day weekend, which I'm done with that. So I told her, I said, we're just going to pull out tomorrow and turn your quizzes in. They're still testing and giving quizzes, and that's real important to her. So I'm like, I don't care. We're just going to have to take a break. This is going way too far. I'm done with it because we're burnt out. Do your kids get burnt out? I mean, mine are completely burnt out.
Yeah, no, 100%. I said, Mike, obviously with school, Amy's ready to be done.
Yeah.
And then, all the sports, dance is over for a little bit anyway. You kind of hit spring recital happened here in a little bit.
Right.
And then they're done with dance for the summer.
We haven't graduated yet. Max doesn't graduate until June 1st. We're a big county, so we have several large high schools, and so they have to pick days and times when they're going to go. So his high school doesn't go until June 1st. So see, until we get all of these, traditions out of the way, I still feel a little stressed and a little strained. So I'm trying to get ready for Memorial Day. We're hosting people here for Memorial Day weekend, but at the same time, I'm rushing back to Tennessee to try to get everything wrapped up down there too. It's wild.
Let me ask you this.
I'm so blessed.
Let me ask you this. Why did you guys decide? I thought the signing thing that you guys did for him going into the military was really, really cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that should be done more often. That's as important a decision as selecting a university to go play any kind of athletics. I don't know. Yeah. I have a great deal of respect for the military. My father was in the military, so I'm very patriotic when it comes to our military. And I thought that was really cool. What made you all decide to kind of do that?
So we have 4 kids, you know that. Well, our oldest got picked up to play soccer for a University of North Florida. You know that. Well, then him and Reagan both are 2020 graduates. Well, that got disrupted with the pandemic. So they went on spring break, and then poof, they didn't go back to school. Like, you're done. When he got picked up to go to UNF to play soccer there, the school was going to make it the biggest event. Like, they were going to have this big signing and signs and all these people show up, just like what you saw me do for Max. They were willing to do for Holden, and I would have participated too. And I'm not knocking that at all. I would have totally done it. I would have spearheaded it, I'm sure. However, when it comes to children who take the non-traditional pathways, whether it's military or if they're going to our local tech schools to become, a nurse or a welder or something like that, there is nothing to be done. But if you're going to play football or basketball for some random D1, D2, D3 school, then, here comes all the confetti. So that's what motivated us when Max, he's been saying he wanted to sign up since he's been 8. He wanted to do the Marines. We begged him to not do the Marines. Todd is Navy. Max's grandfather was Navy. So Max will be 3rd generation. So when it came time for him to, we prayed about it. And when he decided he was going to enlist, and that's what felt good to him, and it feels good to us, we decided that we were going to punt the school. We chose to not even do it at the school. We just kind of poo-pooed that. Since they didn't want to make a big deal out of it, then we're just not even going to need you. And then all of the leadership of not only Knox County, but the state of Tennessee showed up. We had a rep for everybody, or we actually had the actual leader. I invited both sides. Remember, Knox County has Knoxville City in it, and we can throw a stone and cross the city limits. Caitlin knows the area that I live in. Anyway, so I could throw a rock. I'm in the county, but I could throw a rock and cross the city. The city is ran by a Democrat mayor. The county is ran by a Republican. I invited both sides. I'll give you one guess which side showed up.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and I did. I extended him because you know me. I will throw down both sides. But the invitation was extended to everybody, and everybody showed up. And the Libertarians showed up. They're always a fun group. But everybody showed up except I didn't have anybody from the Democrat Party, and I will take it up with my city mayor on that, because that you could have sent a rep, or you could have called, or you could have sent a letter. There's a million things you could have done. You could have done the same thing that you do for the kids that sign up to play UT football.
Right. No, I thought it was awesome. Like, I thought it was
Yeah.
really cool when I saw it. Like I said, I rarely get on Facebook, but I happened to get on there and I saw that and I was like, well, how cool is that? I mean, I thought, what a great
Mm.
idea. Because that should be as applauded as any
Yeah.
kind of athletic accomplishment. I mean, if you go serve your country in the
Mhm.
military, no matter what the branch is,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that should be applauded. All
Oh,
right.
Jimmy
So,
Don, you should have been there. Let me go on just for a minute. I'm
no,
so
you're
sorry.
fine.
You
You're
all should
fine.
have. I wish I'd have had everybody there. But I'm a Southern girl, specifically Appalachia, so I love military and I love community and stuff like that. We had the American Legion show up, and we had a 3-star general come, and I mean, the stories that these guys were telling Max, it was a very emotional event. It was great. It was a big blessing. If you have military or if you have police officers or firefighters, anybody that's in the line of duty like that, hug on them, because I'm telling you, the stuff that they were telling Max, it was all I could do. Luckily, I wasn't PMSing, y'all, because if I was PMSing, I'd have cried.
Yeah.
But it was such a blessing. I'm so proud of my kids, and I'm telling you, that was a good one.
All right, so let's
Really
talk
good
about
one.
kids for a second. We're going to need audience participation here as well. And
Oh, Lord.
I was telling Donna a little bit about this, before we came on. So Ashton and I go. Addison had a dance. If people don't know, I run a rent-a-date service from my house, and my daughters have gone to multiple dances. I'm making no money. None. Like, it's costing me a fortune. But anyway, so Addison had this dance that she was going to in another county. And so her and Amy couldn't go to the graduation party. So Ashton and I go, we go to the party. We hang out down at my aunt's house. It's my mom's sister. It's her grandson. And so we hang out there, eat, and we come back. Well, Ashton wants to go watch a movie. So we go watch Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. She was wanting to see that. So we stopped on our way back and watched that. We get home about 11 o'clock. Well, I walk in, and when I walk in the house, I generally walk over to where I sit at night, and I put my phone and my glasses, and I set it there so that when I sit down, everything's already there. Well, I'll turn the corner to go in and set my stuff down, and there are 4 boys and 4 girls sitting on my couch, all cuddled up, watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
This is the baby, right?
This is my baby child.
How old is she?
She's 14.
Oh, Lord.
She graduates from 8th grade.
Right.
And I come home and I look and I'm like, I didn't say a word. Like, I didn't say anything. I just set my stuff down. They all kind of look at me and I walk around and I'm like, I go to Amy. I'm like, what is going on?
Poor Amy.
Yeah. Because look, Don, I look at this, Ashton has always been like tall and looked older than she was and behaved older than she was. And Addison was my little short. She was kind of chubby. She had the baby face. And then all of a sudden,
that's not true anymore.
No, she shot up and she is this beautiful young woman, very smart. And I come in and I see her cuddled up with this boy on the couch, and I'm about to lose if JD was here, he'd say the word. I was about to lose my stuff. And I did. I literally went into Amy and I was like, what is going on right now? And she was like, hey, it's, what are you going to do? It's our baby. So I was just interested to know, Don, because you have daughters and sons.
Oh, Lord.
Have you ever experienced that? It took me back for a second. Like, I thought the graduation thing was hard. All my babies growing up, she's going to high school. No. I walk in, I see some idiot boy, because I rank these boys, right? Yeah. They're all idiots. When they come into my house, they're all idiots.
Jimmy Don.
Right. And then there's moron, subhuman, homo sapien, and then we'll get to, we'll get up there. But I'm just wondering, your experience with this. And I'm just interested, the people that are watching, that have kids.
Goodness.
Did you all feel this way, or am I being overprotective dad? What's happening?
No, I will say this. For this culture, you're exactly spot on. But when you get into bigger areas, yes, turn me some lights on. I'm getting dark. Sorry. Todd's my producer, and all of a sudden the sun went down on me over here. Anyway, if y'all can't see me, just let me know. So when it comes to the kids, I've got 2 boys, 2 girls. My oldest, Holden, and I hope he's not watching. Hope the kids don't watch tonight. He started dating and wanting girlfriends around 13, 14, about the age that you're talking about right now. And we allowed it, but there really wasn't anything we could do to stop it. So you have to kind of allow it and kind of control it the best you can. When it comes to Reagan, Now, when you get into the girls, I will say that they had different rules. The same rules, but different. I don't know how to explain it. Well, just point blank, Reagan wasn't allowed to date, period. And she's got a boyfriend now, though. So she has a boyfriend. I think this is her third boyfriend, and she will turn 20 in July. Y'all, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I'm tough when it comes to stuff like this because I'm a girl. So I can relate with you on these things, and I've been through stuff. So when it comes to the girls, I do kind of hold them back more, and I'm never really impressed with the guys who hit on them or anything like that. However, I am always impressed with the ones that Reagan has chose to bring to me, and she's only chose to bring me 3, and she's almost 20. And this one that she's in now would probably be her most serious. So, you know, I raise them to where I teach them and I tell them things, the girls, to where, you know, when you're making your decision about your partner or whatever, be careful because this could evolve into something. And I also teach my kids, I don't know about you, Jimmy Dawn, but I teach my kids to not date for sport. I teach them to date if you feel like that's somebody who you might see yourself creating something with. Does that make sense? Like anybody can just date. You can date, I can date, anybody can date. Like you can just date all you want, but that's not what I want for my kids. So out of the 4 of mine, 2 of them are in serious relationships. The baby is only 13. When it comes to the boys, I'm just as protective over them. And I'll tell you, it flips. And moms, the moms that are watching right now that have sons, I want you to tell me if this is what you all think about this strategy. So when it comes to the boys, the only thing that I really fear with them is them being pulled away from us. Because it seems like when boys tend to date and when they marry, they exit the family and they enter into the girl's family, and then you don't really see them as much now. And it happens more often than you think. So that's what I teach them. So I'm always like, when they bring a girl home, I watch her and I interact with her. And if they get into this control thing or this like power pull with me, to where like if they won't split a holiday, because I'm flexible. If you don't want to come to my house on Thanksgiving, then maybe you all can come the next day, or maybe we can arrange it for the weekend before. But I did have one girl come in with one of my boys, and she just was not going to flex at all. It was going to be, he had to show up for everything that her family did, and that was that. So that's how I treat the boys, because moms of sons love their sons just as much as I love my daughters. So when it comes to my girls, I teach them that. And I'm like, look, share your boy with his mother. Don't try to go and take him and bring, because we're doing something all the time, Jimmy Dawn, or just like you guys are. Honestly, you could enter my family and be completely entertained all the time if it's a young man or a young lady. But I don't want to steal somebody from their family. I always want them to be opened up. But yeah, we've had experiences with dating, and Reagan has had the heaviest hand when it comes to dating. And she knows not to bring anybody home who mama won't approve of. And the boys that she does bring home, I act like mom and dad. Reagan is blessed with a great father, and she's blessed with a great stepfather. But if you ever have to go through Greg or Todd, it means I'm dead, because you'll never make it through me. I'm the firewall, right? So when she brings home a boy who she's interested in, I will tell them up front, I expect her to be home. I don't care if she's almost 20. I don't expect her to be out 3 a.m. If you're going out to parties, like this one's a member of a frat. Was he a member of a fraternity? At school? In college, was he in a fraternity?
Who?
You. Was you in a fraternity?
No, I was not, no.
Right. So this one's in a fraternity. You don't hear great things about fraternities. I'm like, if I catch her there, then, who knows what'll happen. Just you've got to understand, when you're dealing with my daughters, you're dealing with a delicate person, somebody that's important, treat her respectfully, and so forth and so on. I didn't mean to go off on a rant, but when it comes to the kids, it's a lot.
Because it's, I've had time to kind of deal with Ashton, a bit, like the oldest one. I've had time to kind of come to terms with it. It's just, I don't know. It's just my baby. And it's something that you said, my grandma used to say this to me and my sister all the time. She said, be careful. Don't date anyone that you wouldn't marry, because you never know who you'll fall in love with.
That's right.
And, and so that's something I told the girls. I guess the real big thing for me is like if boys come here, I've always told Ashton, I said, if they come to this door and they honk the horn, I
Yeah.
said, I will
Yeah, I'm
100%
done.
go out and say something to them. I said,
Right.
because you're not a piece of meat. They ain't honking the horn and summoning you.
Right.
They can come to the door, introduce themselves, speak to me. And I'm pretty friendly. Like I give them a hard time. I give the
Sure.
girls a hard time, but I'm always nice to the guys. I mean, I don't really talk to them. I stare at them and, scowl at them. And, but I generally talk sports, the few that have been around. But Addison, it's just been different. Like it's just been much, much more difficult to see this change because really she was my baby. I mean, she used to love on me all the time. She was my girl. And
I've seen her picture. She's beautiful.
yeah. And then she's just turned into this beautiful little woman. And she has a different personality than Ashton does. Like she's a little more my girl. She is the life of the party wherever she goes.
Right.
And I don't know, but I come in last night and I was not happy.
Yeah, it's hard seeing the baby transition. So Brooklyn's the baby. She turned 13 in December. So she's 13 and a half. And she's my academic. So she doesn't seem interested in boys or anything like that. I mean, she's had a few crushes and that's it. She had her first dance. And, we put a little makeup on her and we fixed her hair because down there, you don't really wear full makeup and fix your hair every day. It's just not what they do. And, so we put makeup on her and stuff and put her out. And let me tell you, she looked like she was 15, 16 all of a sudden. And it hurt. It cut. When those babies are changing like that and you see what they are changing into, and not that it's bad, it's just that you see them going from, like you said, the little baby face and the giggles and all the snuggles that you get on the, on the couch when we're watching a scary movie or whatever, we're on borrowed time.
Yeah.
And it hurts. I will not know what will happen when Brooklyn brings somebody home because I gave Reagan luckily is, in a good relationship right now. And so is Holden. I have to watch Max and I have to watch Brooklyn. I do a lot of praying. I do a lot of teaching, but I'm with you and with your grandmother. I want my kids to know that when you're in a relationship or even if you're hanging out with somebody and you're getting close to them, one thing, watch how the mother is treated in the house. If the mother is disrespected and she's pushed around and she's expected to cook, clean, and work and all these things, then you're probably in trouble. That's what I teach my girls. Mm-hmm. And as far as the guys go, I also tell the boys, I'm like, watch it. If you look like you're going to be controlled and not be able to make not one decision, you can't even make a decision on if you're going to come to see your dad on Father's Day because you have to see her dad on Father's Day, then you probably need to watch that a little bit.
Right. Probably assess the situation. So let me answer a couple of questions here, Don. Sawed-off double-barrel shotgun. 100% true. And this may be true, Chris. It may be my insecurities that I might not be number one to my girls anymore. I don't know. Mm-hmm. There may be some truth to that.
It's definitely true for me.
Yeah, it's just they're my babies. And I want, and I also know what's on the other side of that door because it was idiots like me. When I was there, that age, chasing girls around, me and my boys, running around chasing girls and just being stupid, and it's different, Don, because, okay, like when we were in school, specifically when you were here and, I was here growing up, we dated inside our community, right? If you lived over in Warfield, that area.
So we knew the families.
Yeah, you knew the families. And like you might date somebody over in West Virginia.
Right.
Because the people who lived over there knew those people because they were running around over there together. But it was very rare that you dated outside of the county. You always knew the families, you knew the kids, you saw those kids grow up that your kids were dating.
Right.
These kids know people everywhere because of social media.
Right.
And it's very friendly. There are and plus they dance in these other counties and I don't know these people at all. And I don't know, it worries me just a little bit.
Yeah, come on in. The water's warm. So we are learning different cultures because remember, when you're in the city, you've got different faiths. Sure. You have complete different ethnicities. You have all of that going on. And we're learning and adapting to all of that. And we have, because we've been down there so long. But yeah, when you are getting exposed to people, not only people you don't know, but you don't know if you're on the same wavelength with anything, then it's even more work. But, it's just raise your kids to pick whoever makes them happy and feel safe, and then run with it no matter where they come from or whatever, I guess. The only thing is I do tell mine to kind of stay, well, I tell them there ain't no kind of to it, stay within their own faith, because I think that would be a lot of work.
Yeah. I
I think that would just wear you out constantly. So stay within your own, Christianity, Christian, and off you go type of thing. To me,
No,
but
I mean, that makes sense. I say, especially the way we were raised. I mean, it just around here, that makes sense to me, because it would be hard if you were dating a Muslim or another faith like that. That would have to be difficult on both sides.
Yeah, it would be. And we have Muslims that are very close to our family, and my kids bring them home. They hang out at the house. My kids go to their house. They're wonderful people. Hindus, we have plenty of Hindus. We have it all, and they're great people. I just think when it comes to the religion aspect, although my children would probably do well with that, when they brought their significant other to my house, then they would get this big evangelical dose that I don't know if they'd be comfortable with. And then that could cause conflict between the kids. So that's the only thing.
Todd. I love Todd, because there's truth to that too. Women are all expensive.
He likes to say that. You know what? Todd today said Todd got irritated at me today when I was mulching, and I don't know how he said it, but he's like, next time, if there's a next time, I'm going to get a Buick instead of a Porsche. And I went, what does that mean? What does that mean? He thinks he's so funny sometimes.
He is, Don. I'm not going to lie to you. That was kind of funny. That made me laugh.
So
one other thing I want to talk about that's kind of local, and it's really kind of a big deal, is, we got a kid here locally that has a chance to win American Idol tonight.
Yeah.
And, he was in town last week. In Louisa, they were filming the home visit show, basically. Yeah. And my girls and Amy went, down to the show, and they said there were people everywhere. Like, it was insane. Like how many people. I mean, you're talking a football field that was essentially covered with people, and the stands were full. I mean, there were people everywhere. And you're talking about a kid that, 2-3 months ago was working for ARC, hanging sheetrock. There's people, here locally that know this kid, that work with him. And it's pretty crazy how, and he is as all shucks country as they come.
Yeah.
And that kid has a chance to win on the biggest stage in America tonight, or in the world, really. Yeah. I mean, people watch American Idol nonstop. I said it's pretty cool.
So much to be proud of. And doesn't he just bleed his authentic self through the screen? And I think that's why everybody's relating to him. I think it's wonderful. I think Lawrence County should be proud. Eastern Kentucky should be proud. Mm-hmm. The only thing that I will say, and it's not negative, but we need to learn from this experience. I share a bunch of stuff on Facebook, and then it goes away and gets deleted. I'll know my Facebook is monitored all the time by Meta. But either way, I shared this one thing on Facebook from a guy who's a guitarist in Prestonsburg. I don't know him. It just kind of went viral. And he made a really good point. Noah has been here this entirety.
I saw that.
Okay. He's always been here. He's always sang. He's went out and done the September Fest. He's been out. He's been posting his videos on YouTube. He's been posting his videos on Facebook, and he got no support. But then when he goes to American Idol and he gets the California push behind him, then here comes all of East Kentucky. Right. And we have to stop that. And it's the same thing with Reagan. When we were first starting, Reagan took her first test shoot at 14. And then they class you when you go into modeling. So her class, we needed to hold off until she was 16. And then the pandemic hit and everything went a little crazy, but she got signed at 17. And anyway, when I started sharing pictures of Reagan, I did not get support, and I guarantee you Noah didn't either. You know what I got? Why are you doing that? She's not going to get anywhere. She needs to go to college. She needs to do this. Well, you can do all of those things, Jimmy Don. You don't have to pick option A and forget B, C, and D are there. Noah was always sharing his videos. He's always been talented. He's always been this sweet little kid that you see on TV. And where was the support then? My point is, we have more than Noah Thompson back here. We have tons of dancers. You mentioned your girls were dancers. We have Sam's watching. Her boy is a local teacher. And you're probably thinking, well, how do we do that? I'll tell you how you do that. You brag when you see how these teachers are working with these kids back here. Share those posts, like those posts. What does it cost you? It doesn't cost anything. So I think when you see a local artist, a local musician, a local leader who's trying to do things, a local businessman how many times have you sponsored various things, Jimmy Don?
Oh yeah, over and over and over.
Right. And how many times has somebody shared your hometown mortgage because
it's very rare.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. We've got to learn to get behind. Amanda is a great realtor. Share her real estate stuff. I don't know why we can't support each other on the front end all the time. And you may never make it California famous, but there's no reason why we can't all be Eastern Kentucky loved and famous back here if we truly work as a community. So I hope Noah's journey has changed us a little bit, because you know what? I never heard of Tyler Childers until the Noah Thompson thing. And y'all know I don't like country. I heard one little pic of Tyler when JD shared it, fell in love with that voice and thought, holy crap, I didn't know he was from Lawrence County. I didn't know anything. Why are we not sharing that stuff all the time?
Tyler Childers is the man. Him, Sturgill Simpson, you had Chris Stapleton. You've had all these people. I mean, these hills are full of musical talent and full of all kinds of talent. And I thought that was a great post, because it's true. Yeah. When these guys go play showcases, or the showcases set up, and JD's trying to do the comedy thing right now, right? So he's bringing in the comedy, he's bringing in these family friendly shows. And the first one he did, which it was kind of rain, weird date, but there wasn't a ton of support for it. Mm-hmm. Why not? It's something to do. You can see some local talent. You go out and see it. You can do showcases for these musicians, for them to come and play, open mic nights, whatever. I thought that was a great post by that guy, because he's right. And it was very well said by you, because there's a ton of talent here. Mm-hmm. And these kids are sharing their stuff, trying to get out there, and you can absolutely get them, seen. If we support them ourselves and there's a big enough following, they can be seen, and it would be created here instead of him having to get on American Idol to. And I mean,
we're definitely supporting by voting and rooting for him and sharing stuff now. But let's try to share things before. Just like Daniel is a local business owner. I made a point to stop in there, not because I love him, but because he has really cute, comfortable talks. And almost wore one tonight, Daniel, but I ain't spray tan. I'm way too white tonight. But I'm telling you, when you have these people who are local, who are trying to do something back here, support them. Even if they tick you off sometimes, or if you have some type of, whatever going on, instead of driving over here and spending your money, stay right there and support them. I love that Tyler looks, now you all tell me if I'm wrong, but it looks like he has never made the move to Nashville.
No, he still lives in Kentucky. He lives in like urban Kentucky out on a farm.
Right. So him not making the move to Nashville is a huge thing, okay? Because everybody goes to Nashville if you're wanting to make it in anything now, whether it's movies or music or fashion, whatever. So for him to stay here and kind of, have that little dug in and be like, no, I'm going to stay here in Kentucky. There's no reason why we can't have live music venues here and little bars or whatever, to where it causes people to want to drive up here, be in these mountains, and listen to the Noah Thompsons. He's already booked 2 local shows up here, even if he doesn't win tonight. So let's go to those shows.
Let me ask you this, and I'd like for the audience, people that are watching, to respond as well in the chat. And I'll answer first. I'll tell you what the question is, and I'll answer it first, just so that you know where I'm going. So, he's one of 3, right? And he can win this thing. Do you want him to win? And the reason I asked that, I almost want him to finish second, because I don't want him to be tied into that American Idol contract that you're tied into if you win, right? You're kind of limited in what you can do. You've got to focus, because he could be he sounds a lot like Tyler Childers. You can hear his country when he sings. Same as Tyler Childers. I love Tyler Childers. I love Sturgill Simpson. I love Chris Stapleton. And I don't even like country music. But I love them because they sound like me. I love it, when they sing. So I just wonder, do we want him to win? I like him to, in a sense, I'd like him to win, right? But in a way, I don't want him to win because I don't necessarily want him to be tied down.
I don't know how you knew that, how you knew about the contract, because it's true. So I don't know if you guys know this, but my kids, I still call my kids first cousins, my nieces and nephews, because, I was married to their dad for 17 years, so I'll always love them. Well, one of my nieces is married to an American Idol winner, David Cook. So, and those contracts are extensive, and they have lots of traveling that's involved. It's an actual contract. You have to do XYZ shows. You have to show up here. You have to show up there. So that's a good point. I don't know if you want him to win or not, because if he does win, I don't know if he'll get back here much.
Yeah, no, and that's just what I wonder. He's going to be so tied in. The only one that there's a couple that won. Yeah, that have become huge, right? And that's Kelly Clarkson
and Carrie Underwood.
And I like what Carrie Underwood, when she was the mentor the other night, she was like, look, it gave you the opportunity to dream bigger than you ever thought you could. Because when you're from a small town like this, you don't necessarily dream that big, right? You dream about it, but then you don't think there's a way to really get there and do it.
Yeah.
And I just wondered, you've had some success with other people that didn't win, that have had bigger success because they could do what they wanted to do.
Yeah. Like, wasn't Adam Lambert one of them? He's the rock guy. And
he's leading Queen right now.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think him making it into the top 3 is perfect. Whether he places 1, 2, or 3, it doesn't matter. He's already got a bright career ahead of him. And I think, going back to what you said that Carrie said, it allows you to dream bigger because, being from small towns, you kind of put a lid on dreams. Going all the way back to the beginning of this podcast, that should never be the case. The internet is everywhere now. The dreams that we have coming out of Johnson County and Martin County and Lawrence County are the same dreams that can come true that's coming out of Beverly Hills 90210. So if your kids are doing something, get your family involved. Here comes Michelle, Daniel, Glenn, all these people, Amanda, all these people. If I post something about Reagan, they'll share or like it, or, because they're trying to push her dream forward a little bit. Do that with your local people, and let's get these kids to where they can believe in themselves, especially after seeing Noah Thompson.
Yeah, no, yeah, we can, yeah.
I don't even know what Lawrence County will do if he's declared the winner tonight.
I know this place may explode. I said, and it's not. And the thing is it wasn't just Lawrence County. It was Martin County, Johnson County. People were coming from all over the place to see this kid. It was unbelievable. And the girl said it was interesting to watch because it was as much about American Idol as it was him putting on a concert.
Right.
So they were trying to, film. Like, he would have to do a song over, or he would have, there was all kinds of stuff. There was a guy there singing with him. It was the song that he auditioned with. Yeah. That guy came on stage and sang with him, and they sang that song, which was really cool. And Ashton said they had to do that a couple of times.
Right.
But said it was interesting to see the production of it as well, and what you're going to see on the show tonight. Like, I know that's what they're interested in seeing, is what they actually saw going on down there, and then how it'll be depicted on TV tonight.
Yeah. See, things like that just opens these kids' minds. It's a huge deal to have production like that come into Lawrence County. It's a huge deal to see those things. I've been on a couple of sets with Reagan, and it blows your mind with how these things go on. So yeah, I love that everybody went out and got to see that, and see that there's all different types of things going on in this big old world. What is he doing?
I shared JD's set and got a Facebook ban and death threats. 100%. 100%, Chris Day.
I don't know where JD went at all.
I don't either. Like, I'm really starting to get a little bit worried.
Yeah.
Like, he normally will message me back. That makes me think that there's a water leak somewhere, and they're out there working on a water leak. Yeah. So that's what that makes me think, and he doesn't have service somewhere. All right, so I want to talk about one other thing. We're at about 40 minutes right now. This will probably take the rest of the show, most likely. But the election was last week, and as everybody knows, I ran, and I got beat. I lost. I ended up finishing third. And I wanted to talk a little bit, Don, about the process, of actually running for an election.
Okay, I would
And
love to hear that.
yeah,
Honestly, I would love to hear that because when I started when I started on this podcast with you guys, I don't know how many people asked if I was going to change my residency and run for something up here. No, I have no intention on doing that. I have every intention on learning more and more and more from Jimmy Don and JD and all of you guys, and I have every intention on shining a light into this region. So if you want to hear how it is to be a politician or how it is to try to run a political campaign, that's all Jimmy Don right there.
Yeah. Well, it was really interesting. Hang on a second. I think my device here. There we go. All right. Rookie move. I hadn't turned on my power strip to keep power to my thing. So I had to fix that. Anyway, no, it was really interesting. So I'll just kind of start with, I was disappointed that I didn't win, right? Like I ran to win. And I ran really hard. I campaigned hard. I had a strategy, like the whole thing. And I didn't win. I finished third. But overall, when it was done, I was actually really pleased.
Yeah, because it was split 8 ways.
Yeah, right? There was 8 people running.
Yeah, that's hard.
And I was really pleased with how I ran, because I was pretty close. I think I was a few votes away from being the second place vote getter. And like I said, I was disappointed. But it didn't discourage me in the sense that I will probably try it again at some point. Now, I may go about it a little differently, but I really enjoyed myself. And that was the thing that surprised me is I told Amy when it came to the campaigning part, I was like, I talk all day. I mean, I literally sell all day long. I'm on the phone all day. Sure. I'm in front of people all day. I'm, selling these package and mortgage, loans together, selling the securities. I'm talking to people constantly, and I like to come home, and I'm almost kind of a hermit.
Yeah, because you're overstimulated. Yeah,
right. And so I just want to hang out, talk to my girls, hang out with Amy. That's all. That's all I really want to do.
Right.
But getting out and talking to the people in this community,
it lights a fire.
It really does, because I saw things, Don, that I didn't realize were even going on.
Yeah.
And, because I essentially live in a bubble, right? I get up at 4:00 every morning. I get my day started. I start working. Then I make breakfast for the girls. And then I take them to school. And then I come back to the house. I finish up what I got to do here. And then I literally drive on this little 2-lane road out here, hit the 4-lane, and then I'm all over Eastern Kentucky.
Right.
So I'm up in, places that I hadn't been in years, seeing people that I hadn't seen in years.
And hearing from their own mouths what their conflicts are. It keeps you to where you stay up a little bit at night, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. And it was interesting to see, like up here where we live, it's like somebody forgot we all lived up here. Like I knew my road was bad, like I knew it was bad, but I didn't think much of it, in the sense that, okay, I had little kids, it was almost like a speed bump in a sense, to keep traffic slowed down where my girls were at. But I'm going up in places where their roads are so bad, and school buses are driving on these things. Like it blew my mind.
Yeah, some are dangerous, really dangerous, Jimmy Don. And if a big accident happens, we had an accident happen in Knox County a few years ago. It was a terrible tragedy. Let me tell you, if something big happens, everybody's head at the county leadership will roll.
Well, and it was different in that I now know how to run a campaign. I had a strategy about what I was going to do, right? Like I talked to this guy and he said, look, in Eastern Kentucky, you got to knock on every door, which I did. Every single door in District 2. I knocked on that door, talked to people, and then you put your signs out about 2 weeks before because everybody else's signs have faded into the background. As soon as yours hit, they're going to pop and they're going to see yours all the way up.
Right.
And the difficult thing about running in an election here, I have found, and I don't want to discourage or say anything or disparage anybody that I ran against, because all 7 people that I ran against are good people. And I would consider casting a vote for all of them. At some point, it would be in my mind that I would consider casting a vote. But I felt like I was the most qualified, right? What I know how to do and my experience with the water district and the money that I went and got, and brought in $10 million to this point, another $8.5 million secured, being able to write grants, all these things I know how to do. Like in my mind, I thought I'm going to win. I'm the most qualified.
Mm-hmm.
And then the day of the election, it hit me. I was like, dude, you could actually lose this. You could lose because I'm very confident. Okay. I call it controlled confidence. Amy calls it cockiness. I call it controlled confidence. But I was like, and it's hard in these small towns where you have big families that you're running against. You have church families that you're running against.
Mm-hmm.
And there were so many people running, I took for granted how that was really going to impact the final vote tally. I knew it wouldn't take a whole lot of votes to win. And I think 100, it was 100 votes won it, but I took that for granted and I didn't realize, because I don't have a big family here, that can go vote. And so it was interesting. And that's one of the different things about elections in Eastern Kentucky and all of Eastern Kentucky. It's not just Martin County, it's all small towns.
There's a lot of things that are different that I've noticed. I'm going to say one thing, and I hope it's not out of line. It's just an observation, but I did notice one thing. I think the ones who, how do I say it? I don't understand why people put so much on politicians who look a certain way, act a certain way, or hang out with a certain set of people back here. I really don't understand that at all. And it's gotten them nothing and it's gotten them nowhere. But if they'll vote for somebody who doesn't even talk to them, but maybe once a year or whenever election time comes around, and they'll vote for them because they think that it puts them in with them, instead of voting for somebody over here. And I'm not saying anything against, I don't even know who beat you. I'm not in that district. I'm not in the county. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting in Johnson County. But when it comes to voting, when you are sitting in a county like Martin County or Johnson Floyd, wherever, Knox County, wherever, and you are losing people every year, these are numbers. These are facts. There are no jobs and the people are moving away. You would think that you would stop your pattern of how you're voting and upset that apple cart every now and then. But they don't. You're right. You're going up against families. And then your second biggest threat is the church families. Mm-hmm. Because if you go to church with somebody back here, if you're an outlier and you don't go to church, well, then you're just done. Honestly.
Yeah, well, and that was true. And the guy that beat me is a good man. I mean, there's not a better guy. He truly is. He's a good man, and I think he'll try hard, and I will support him. I talked to him the other day. His daughter and my daughter are in the same class. They graduated together, the 8th grade graduation, and we ended up sitting beside each other. There were so many people running in my election that literally the day of graduation, there was 4 of us sitting beside each other on the same aisle. I'm not even kidding. We were, because we all know each other and all like each other.
Everybody lives in the same community. We hosted the debates. Every single candidate was a good and excellent candidate. And I'm not lying. Every single one, from the judge all the way down to, the jailers and everywhere in between, there wasn't one person that worried me or that I thought couldn't get the job done. I just wondered how the results were going to turn out, because it's more or less like a popularity contest in Martin County than it is an actual, do they actually care about the people? Do they care about the whole county or only part of the county? Do they care that the roads aren't taken care of? Are they going to be able to go to Frankfurt and actually come back with money? They don't worry about things like that. They literally worry about, if I vote for this person who is popular, then I'll feel popular. And honey, if you guys are voting that way, and you are, you've got to stop, because it's making nobody popular. Martin County is a beautiful county. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Martin County girl. My mom's watching. My family lives up in Martin County. I'm a Martin County girl. To the day I die, I will fight for Eastern Kentucky. But my God, if you guys would change how you vote just a little bit and push Kobe, push all your fiscal court people, you need to push these people. Push them. And if you're from Pigeon Roost side, like me and Eric and them, it is high time that the Pigeon Roost side and the other side of the hill, Warfield and all that, get the same respect and the same notice and recognition as the Inez side, whether Inez likes to hear it or not.
Well,
that's just how it is.
Here's the thing I found, Don.
Whoops.
It's like up here where we live.
Mm-hmm.
It's like somebody forgot we lived here. Like when I was going
insane.
out on these roads and the things, it is just as bad here. It's bad everywhere.
It's bad everywhere.
It's bad everywhere. Like, and it's not even a matter of like the disrespect. Like, I want somebody to come up here and fix this stuff.
Yeah.
I literally, Don, I drove down the road one day, and and this is a really bad section of the road that's up above me.
Yeah.
And they had some extra blacktop, so they fixed this one section at one side of it. They didn't fix both sides of the road, one side of it. So I got over on the good blacktop. I came off the good blacktop, and I hit a pothole so deep that I thought I blew my tire out. And our school buses travel on that road every day. And that's the part. Like,
and this is the road that goes to your house?
Yeah, it's on past my house.
Past your house?
Yeah, it's on past my house. It's past the Vintners Branch.
But I mean, you have a really nice house. You're in the top percent of Martin County. So imagine what neglect happens to the trailers and the haulers that have all the trailers.
Yeah, and I drove up roads. I couldn't believe it. Like, that was the part, because I took notes, Don. Like, when I was out, I would ask the people that I was campaigning with, like, if there were 3 things, give me 3 things that are concerns for you, whether it be right here in our district or it be countywide. Like, what are those things? Some people would, give me answers. Some people, I'm good. I don't have a problem. I'm good. Just humble people, don't want to complain.
Yeah, they don't want to complain. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's who our people are. So it's
time that changes.
Yes.
It is time that changes. Let me tell you, your county leaders are getting paid by you. They work for you. And if you have, and you know what's funny is the roads that have the really wealthy houses never have problems. And that's a fact. That's not me being mean. That's a fact. You guys have got to make noise in Martin County, because when it rains, it pours. If you make a bunch of noise, you can make change. You have a new judge now. He's not appointed this time. He's elected. He's a young man, seems like a fine guy. Push him. He wants to do good. He says he wants to do good. It's time to make him do good. You have a new fiscal court. How many new magistrates did they get, Jimmy Don?
New magistrates, 2. I think 2 new magistrates.
I think they got 2 out of
3.
3. Eric could probably help us out. And Eric's another fighter for the Pigeon Roost area and stuff like that. These are all leaders, Eric and Kobe and all the magistrates and all the people, Jimmy Don, all these people who are got enough nerve to get up here on a podcast and say what we need to change in Martin County. I don't know how they've ever sold the package to Martin County citizens to convince these people to where they think that they are defeated. You are not defeated. You're allowing yourselves to be defeated. Make these people come out and fix your roads. Stay on the phone. If they tell you they don't have money, then you turn them right back around and you tell them that they have how many years until the next election? 4?
Yeah.
They've got 4 years to find the money. If they don't find the money to fix your hauler, remember, your babies are just as important as babies that sit in New York City and the babies that sit in Beverly Hills, these Kardashian babies. Your babies are just as important. They should have the same things. Your leaders should provide the same things. I can go off on these rants a little bit because the leaders in Martin County can't do things to me. I can try, hell, they can't do anything to me in Kentucky. I'll just go back to Tennessee. But let me tell you, when it comes to how you vote, stop voting for people who you just hang out with and who you love. They're kind. I get it. I love them too. Vote for people who will go against the grain. You have to change how you're doing things, or just pour water in your potholes and start fishing out of them, because there's nothing else that's going to change. Fight for your area. Completely fight for it.
Yeah, no, it was really, it was interesting. Like I said, at the end of the day, I really enjoyed the process. I enjoyed getting out and talking to people. It was good to hang out. Even some people were really honest with me. They were like, look, I go to church with this guy. I'm going to vote for him. And I was like, hey, I appreciate that. Thank you.
I wonder if the Lord talks to people back here differently than me, because the Lord made me just as much as he's made you and just as much as he's made anybody else sitting up in any of these churches. Honestly, I love Christ. I've confessed my faith in Christ. I've gotten saved, baptized, the whole nine. I cuss a little, and that's about it, especially when I'm PMSing. But I'm just as much a believer as anybody else. How is it that when I go to church down in Tennessee, I don't sit there and think because I have Senator Blackburn's, representative sitting here, I'm going to vote for her. That is not how I choose how I'm going to vote. Now, it might be how I choose who I'm going to hang out with, because I'm going to hang out with people who I'm like-minded with. But if she can't fight for various rights that I think that I'm entitled to as an American citizen, whether or not me or her on the same pew or not, she won't get my vote. It doesn't mean that it's not important. It just doesn't mean that that's not my deciding factor. And Jimmy Don, I heard it 1,000. I didn't want to influence anything. I had, people thought I was biased to District 4, and I am biased to District 4, and anything that comes out of District 4. I'm a District 4 girl. My uncle held the magistrate position for decades there. Let me tell you, when it comes to, I've got segued way off that, I apologize, but when it comes to changing things in Martin County, I get so passionate because I cannot get Martin County friends and family, people that I love, to see themselves the way that I see them. I cannot figure out why we don't share Noah Thompson's of the world before American Idol tells us that he's amazing. I cannot get why we vote for the same grooming. This one's picked by this guy and that one's picked by that guy, and this guy goes to church with this one and all that. I don't get why I can't convince people that you deserve more. I will never understand what I'm doing wrong. I don't know if my words don't work or whatever, but I see all these people tuning in. We've got local business leaders. We've got local Eastern Kentuckians here all over watching us tonight, Jimmy Don. Mm-hmm. They deserve just as much as what I get in Knoxville, and I don't ever have to fight for basic things like you guys have to fight for. I'm never fighting over a pothole. I don't do it. Caitlin, if she's still watching, we don't fight for potholes. You want to know why? Because our leaders know that if they don't fill that pothole, boom, they're done, because we have tons of options. And then people back here are like, well, we don't have options. That's not true. You ran in District 2 against 8 people. That's 8 options. District 2 had 8 options. You get to select who you think is going to fix your roads. You get to select who you think is going to help you with garbage. We still don't have garbage in District 4. We don't have garbage pickup. Where, the guy who's picking up is doing the best he can because they haven't fixed a contract yet. I mean, they make laws and force people to get garbage. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And then they have no way of implementing it whatsoever to where it's seamless. Anywhere else that this would happen, all hell would break loose. Yep. And the reason why it doesn't, and I know I'm on a rant, just shut me up. The reason why it doesn't, which I can get by with saying this stuff better than you can, Jimmy Dodd, is because you all are all bubbled up and friends with each other that you're afraid of pissing each other off. I evidently don't have a problem with that. Quit worrying about if you make somebody mad, because it's like with your kids. Do you ever worry about making your kids mad when you're correcting them? No. So if you're dealing with family and you're trying to convince them to vote for this person over that person, and you're afraid they're going to get mad at you, don't worry about it. You know that you're trying to improve the situation versus staying stagnant. I get so tore up over Martin County. I can't even deal with it sometimes. Honestly.
No, and I feel you. Like I said, I was going out, and I'm going to the gentleman who won our race. I'm going to support him 110%. Because, and I told him that, and I said, look, dude, whatever, because I literally took notes the whole time I was out. Like, I have note after notes after notes of the things that were wrong. And the reason I did that was so that if I won, I would know where to start. Like, I would know where I needed to begin. Mm-hmm. And I said, and I will share those with you. I said, so that you know, because he said he didn't do anything like that. And I said, well, I do. I have it. And, I found some grants for clearing waterways. Okay. That people aren't using, because I was talking to some people, and every time it rains hard, they flood. Every time. Pigeon Roost, that's where you're from, they have that same problem.
All the time. Can I ask you a question? And I hope you know the answer, because I want people to hear hopefully we'll get an answer because maybe Jimmy don't know. How is it that you find out, like if you're a mother and you live up Emily Creek and you're tired of the flooding, how can she even find, because it's up to you guys to find things out on your own because your fiscal court and your court hasn't been able to do it yet. How do you find those grants? How can a lay person find that there may be a grant for this, that, or the other? Is it something that only you in a political position can find, or can anyone find that?
No, you can get on. Like I got on the FEMA website. Like I was talking to these people up the road, and then I came home, and like it really concerned me because I know that we have flooding here. But I found there are essentially grants that you can get. They'll come in and examine your waterways. Okay. And essentially engineer, because they'll look at, are your drains big enough? You know, where does your water back up? Where are those things occurring? And then what steps do you have to take to correct that? Yeah. Then they'll come in and they can dredge out your creeks. They can clear off the trees and the roots that are on the side so that the water flows properly so that it doesn't get bound up and back up. And that's a lot of cases when people flood, it's because the water backs up.
Right.
And it's impeded when it's flowing. So I just got on the website and started looking around. Now I'm different because I do have some contacts over time where I've went and got these grants and done these different things for the water district. Mm-hmm. I've made contacts. I've networked. I go to Frankfurt all the time and I introduce myself to people down there. Like I spend a lot of time down there because when I walk into a grant presentation now, I know 75% of the people in the room.
Wow, that's great.
And that's how you get money. It's not who you know, it's who knows you.
Yeah.
And so I started doing that, and that's how I've been able to secure 10.5 million, 8.5 that's coming down the pike. And I'm working on 25 million now.
Yeah. And see, those are huge numbers. Huge numbers. Yeah.
And so, and that's what it takes is going after that. And I will help the guy that won in our district. I'll help him. I'll help any of them. I don't care.
Yeah.
It is. I just want this place to be better.
Me too. Me too.
And I think it can
honestly,
be better.
Beautiful kids. I've told you all this last year. When I moved away, my in was keeping up on social media with all of my friends and family. I'm telling you, your children are beautiful and they're smart. I see them getting scholarships. I see their little faces and their big smiles. Fight until you cannot fight no more. Push your magistrates to find grants. Tell them to their face, you're going to call their office every single day. Get in touch with the Mountain Citizen if you have to. Put pressure on these people to, JD's fine. Oh, well, yay, Amanda.
All right, good. All right, thank you, Amanda, for telling us.
Is he pregnant? Maybe he's pregnant, and that's why I didn't tune in. Anyway, do what you can to fight. But I've got another question because this one's kind of set on me. I'm both proud, but I'm also a little taken aback. We only had 2 females that ran in the primary. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm so proud that Susie, she got more votes than any other position, whether it was judge or anything. Susie got more votes than anybody. So I'm so proud of her, this little girl running around over there doing the county clerk, and she does an amazing job. Proud of her. Do you think that women who run for magistrate, I don't ever see women run for magistrate. Do you think that they would ever have a leg to stand on in Martin County?
I think it would be hard, if I'm being honest.
Yes.
I think it would be hard
so
for a woman to win like a magistrate's position. You're talking about a culture change completely. I mean, because you know as well as I do, it's very
but we have such good schools. We have such good schools.
Yes.
Honestly, why are and all of the Martin County's children have to go through school? Am I not correct?
Yes.
Why is it that we still have these kids being pumped out, thinking that if a female runs for something, they hesitate? I mean, we've got young people in the fiscal court right now, and they hesitate. I have sent emails and messages to some of our local leaders, and they hesitate towards me. And it cannot be for any other reason. I'm just as educated. I can articulate if I want to, or I can talk with my accent if I want to. So why is it they don't want to communicate with me? It has to be because I'm a girl.
Well, and I think a lot of it goes back to, and maybe I'm wrong about this, I don't know. This is just me, kind of thinking about it. We are such a religious area.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like when I was growing up, well, really, it wasn't like this at my house. It was very different because there were a lot of women in my life, right? Like I was raised by a bunch of
Yeah.
women. And I had a great father and a great dad. My dad was great to my
Right.
mom. And,
But they
you
were
know,
probably working all the time, right?
yeah, they worked a lot.
Yeah.
And it was
Same.
always seen they were kind of like the head of the household. Biblically, the man is supposed to be the head of the household. And I think a lot of people around here believe that. Like I remember the first time I went to Amy's for Thanksgiving dinner. The ladies were in the kitchen all day cooking. The guys sitting there hanging out, doing what we were doing, watching football, whatever. When they got done, all the men went and ate. And the women went in the kitchen or went over and sat down. And then they ate after the men ate, which I thought was weird because I'd never seen that. But, you know, but that is something that I think is part of our culture here.
Yeah.
Whether that's right or wrong, I think it's wrong. I have 2 daughters. I want my daughters to have that opportunity if that's something they wanted to do.
Right.
But, you know, sorry, Todd. But yeah, no, I think culturally,
I miss all the comments. I miss them all. I see them every now and then, you know, guys.
Yeah. But no, I think as far as culturally, it would be difficult for a woman to run for a position here and win.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know that it's not right.
Right.
But it is just the way that it is. You know, culturally, that is the way that it is here.
You know, there's so much, not just that. Not only are they held back, females held back on that, but like with the trash and stuff like that, I'm going to switch topics. We were talking about the trash and how people just throw stuff out in the ditch line and stuff like that too. That's another thing that's unique to our culture, and that will take years to change. Don't get me wrong, the county will find a person and they'll accept the bid and people will start picking up trash. But even if you have people out picking up trash, you still have people throwing it out, and that's part of our culture too. I don't know why we have this defeated. We act like we're defeated back here, like we just come back here and we expect it to be, you know, a little less than. And if you all would move away and then come back home, you would have a complete new set of glasses on when you look at this place, because I do. I see, when I go down Inez, I see the cutest little boutiques. I can get ice cream. I tried to get a good meal. Now, I'm not going to go too far on the restaurants because I've tried one place in Inez 3 times and I'm done trying it now. But we can have good restaurants. You've got a little flower shop. You've got hair salons. You have places. I bought a dress and a shirt at the spirit shop. You can do all these things right there in Inez constantly, and you can cause them to build up more and more and more. But instead, we will dive into our vehicles and drive to Tennessee and buy the same stuff down there. It blows my mind. And
and we do it here too, where that's one of the things that like it was what you said about promoting our own is we have grocery stores here, but we'll go to Prestonsburg or Paintsville and shop.
Yeah.
We had a movie theater here forever, but people will go out. Now I'm just as guilty too, because I might want to go out and have a dinner somewhere, right? But I'm the guy too, though. I like our movie theater here when it was open, and it will be open soon.
Oh, good. That's good.
Yeah, it'll be back open soon. And it was like I would go out of town and eat, and then come back here and watch the movie, so I could spend my money here. So
I would love nothing more than have like live music and be able to hang out and watch. Yes, and I know that we've kind of went off on the things that, we have to improve. But let me tell you, I think that if everybody pushes the leadership, make them uncomfortable every day. If you don't think they're working hard enough, make them uncomfortable until they are working for you. And then see if the new court can change something. And they're not going to be able to change everything overnight, right, Jimmy Don?
Right. No, it takes forever. These grants and things that you go get takes forever. It really does. That's one of the lessons I've learned the most in dealing with the water system is I got $8 million worth of grants 5 years ago. We're just now spending the money. Just now. And then like they'll start, and I've got this other, what other $8.5 million lined up, but we can't even start working on it yet because we have to wait to announce it when it helps the politicians. So it's kind of a jacked up system. I mean, it really is. I've learned a whole lot, and it really was. It was a blessing. As my dad used to tell me, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
I mean, you got to meet your people, Jimmy.
I got to meet everybody.
Don't you love that? I love talking to my people.
You don't know how many porches I sat on. I come home one night. I like to tell this story. My dad told me, because my dad was magistrate once, and he told me, he said, look, you're going to houses that you don't necessarily want to go into, but you got to treat people with respect. If they want to sit on the porch and drink a cup of coffee with you, you need to do that. One night I drank 8 cups of coffee in like 3 hours. And I come home, I was so wired. I was wired out of my head. Amy's like, you going to bed? I was like, absolutely not. No time soon. I may have to go walk to calm down. But no, it was truly.
Your dad is full of good information, because I was raised the same way. Yeah. So I went to pick Brooklyn up this has been about 3 weeks ago. It was after the dance. And you all know I don't drink coffee. This is green tea that I'm drinking on the show. I've got a weird, strict diet for whatever reason. But anyway, so I went to pick her up, and it was one of the families that has a very, very different culture. And she offered me their type of coffee. And it was in the cutest little cup. I swear it was like a little tiny midget cup. And she handed it to me, and I thought, what can this harm? It's this much. It wasn't an espresso, but it was just this little tiny cute coffee cup. I'm here to tell you, I sucked that thing down. It was great. It didn't taste like any type of coffee I'd had. And before you knew it, I got tacky about 30 minutes later, because my heart was just like, and I was talking a mile a minute. Y'all think I talk a lot on this show? I bet she learned everything about me in 15 seconds flat.
No, it was, but it truly was, I have to say, it was a blessing. I'm glad I did it. I was disappointed that I didn't win. Because I really did work hard at it. Nobody outworked me. I have nothing to be ashamed of. I worked hard, and I did the best that I could. And like I said, that was the thing that I was pleased for myself coming out of it.
Right.
Is I wasn't discouraged. If anything, it made the fire burn hotter.
Oh, it made me so proud. I'm so proud of you, Jimmy.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of nerve to put yourself out there like that, and like you said, it is like a popularity contest.
Boy, it takes a lot of nerve to do this.
Yeah, and it's because you're putting your thoughts and opinions out there for everybody to see and criticize. Yeah. And I don't know. It was a good experience, and I'm glad I did it. Like I said, we got the best people in the world. That was proved to me again, just going door to door, and everybody was so kind to me, and sat around and talked, and I had the best time sitting in with people and just having conversation. I don't know, I just had a good time. I did not stop talking the whole time. Like, it was so much fun. I don't have a problem talking.
I love it. Yeah. Well, next time you run, I'll be your pro bono campaign manager.
I like it.
That's what I'll do. But boy, what a good time. So let me tell you, I'm hosting my first family reunion.
Oh, really?
Saturday. Yeah. So everybody watching, if you want to come to Pigeon Roost and say hi to a bunch of Harmons and hang out with us, we'd love to see you Saturday at 2:00.
I'm here to tell you the Harmons are a good time.
Yeah. I hope, as long as we don't break out in a fight, everything should be fine. But we do have a good time. All my kids are going to be in, and I've got 2 uncles left, but I don't know if they'll be able to make it. I don't know. Do you guys still do family reunions? I know we've talked now for an hour and 15. So
we do. We still do.
We kind of fell off. So I'm trying to kick that back up, and everybody wants it back here at home. So Pigeon Roost is, where we're from. So that's where we're going to be.
My family is really close anyway. Especially my mom's side of the family. We're really tight, so we see each other a lot anyway. The extended family, they still get together. We haven't done anything since COVID because a lot of the family's older. And they were worried about that. So I think as things go, I think that'll kind of get kicked back in too. But I always enjoy those. It's good to go see everybody.
I hope to see family reunions come back. I'm going to try to go to my friend Samantha's family reunion. I know, because I identify as a Maynard sometimes. I love that about back here. And that's, I know that we have a conservative culture. I'm not knocking that. I just don't want it to be so conservative that we don't see people who have different beliefs and different thoughts the same as we would see someone who we go to church with. That's all I'm saying. Just don't be so closed-minded that you don't see the beauty in somebody else. But I want to see family reunions come back. I'm already pushing the horn for like the Liberty Festival to come back, all those things. There's no reason why those things had to die.
No, absolutely. And I will say this, Don, before it's over with. We had people, win. People had to lose. I just want the group that we have now. I think everything you said is spot on. We need to hold these people accountable. I think that was actually Lance, Samantha's son, asked that question of me in the debate, is how do we hold people accountable? And we have to hold our elected officials accountable, help them, support them to do the best job that they can do. But we as a community have to hold ourselves accountable to make sure that we're doing the things that we need to do to help support, not throwing trash out the window, going to the meetings, speaking our mind when it needs to be spoken, and in support. We need to hold ourselves accountable as well.
Yeah. I mean, don't let people feed you a cheeseburger and a hot dog every 4 years for your vote. Make them feed you that every year. There's no reason why they can't have town halls once a quarter and say, this is what I'm still doing and this is what I'm working towards. Am I doing what I should be doing for this district or for this county? There's no reason why that can't happen. It happens everywhere else. I mean, you all saw Max's things. If you're not friends with me on Facebook, hook me up or hit me up. I'll friend you and I will add you and you'll see Max's things. That's why I had people show up, because they know that if you don't show up when I ask you to, because I don't ask anything of my leaders unless I actually have a need, because, it's a job and it's a job I wouldn't want. But that's why they show up, because if you don't, I will let everybody know that mom's garbage still isn't getting picked up the way that it should be. If that's not resolved in the next month or two, I'm going to be on the horn myself to Frankfort, because Martin County made a law and they're not seeing it through. Right. So that's a problem. You can't do that. You can't make a law and then not see it through. You actually have to have a plan in place. So those things, it's not me being against anybody. It's me being tired. I'm tired. When I tell people I'm from Martin County, I'm tired of them looking down their nose at me. Matter of fact, they don't get a chance to anymore, because the finest people I know come out of Eastern Kentucky.
Absolutely. Well, I said it. It makes me ill. I think I said it in the debate. People say, "Oh, that's Martin County," and it always has some kind of negative connotation to it, and it makes me so mad, because this is such a good place. We have such good people.
Jimmy, they did that to me over here in Paintsville. But now I will say, I'm bad to do it myself. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm from Martin County, and I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't feed into that either, So we all have to kind of shift, I guess, on how we're doing things. But I hope that Todd and I get to stay up here in Eastern Kentucky at least for another 20 years. But
I hope so too. All right, I think that's a good place to end it, Don. We know JD's safe.
Wonder what happened to him.
And we won't know. Tune in next week to find out why JD was a no-show tonight and has not messaged either Don or me.
He's definitely pregnant.
He's pregnant for sure. Absolutely. So, guys, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us tonight. We really appreciate it. Tune in next week. We'll find out why JD was a no-show tonight, and I'm sure we'll have some other cool topics to talk about. Make sure you're following the Facebook page, the Instagram page. Don and JD do a great job running that. All kinds of interesting topics out there. And, of course, follow the podcast over on Podbean. That's where I launched the podcast.
Like and share.
Like and share this video. You can catch us on YouTube, obviously Facebook, wherever you're watching us now, but you can find us on iTunes, iHeart, Amazon, Spotify. We are everywhere that they put out podcasts. You will find us, the Just Add Bourbon podcast. And as we always end this thing, from myself, from Don, and from JD, wherever he may be, no matter how bad your week's been, no matter how bad your day's going, if you just add bourbon, it always gets a little bit better. We'll see you guys next week.
Love y'all.